What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Billy Joe Saunders, a traveling man, a gypsy, the WBO super middleweight champion. Are you going to hold firm and stand on your square and refuse to fight Canelo Alvarez on May 8th? Turn down a lucrative opportunity to become undisputed in super middleweight division. Turn down an opportunity to become unified. Take that first step and become unified super middleweight champion. And one step away from becoming undisputed super middleweight champion if you was able to take the strap off of IBF champion Caleb Plant. First order of business, if you beat Canelo Alvarez, is you're going to have to give him a rematch, because that's in the contract. If you defeat Canelo Alvarez, you have to give him a return fight immediately. Next fight, you can't go nowhere else and fight another interim fight. You have to fight Canelo Alvarez in the rematch. And if you're successful in the rematch, then you'll be one step away from becoming undisputed at 168 pounds. Are you willing to throw all that out the window for principle? For having some kind of limit? Not bow down to every demand that Canelo Alvarez places upon you. Are you willing to do that? Because I'm sure this is your highest pay that you ever had in your boxing career. This is going to be your most high-profile fight. This is going to be the fight that can separate you. This could be the fight that can put you in the Hall of Fame. Are you willing to risk all that and turn down a fight with Canelo Alvarez? You bow down on the glove situation. He's going to have custom-made gloves. I'm pretty much sure they're going to be puncher's gloves. Each fighter has a choice of what kind of gloves he want to wear, and he's going to wear definitely a puncher's glove, probably similar to the Reyes gloves that contains a lot of horsehair. Puncher's gloves, like punches like Marcos Maidana wore in the Adrian Broner fights. You know, those type of gloves. And you bow down on the hand wrap situation, as in the way that Canelo Alvarez and his team, they hand wrap his hands to make those wraps a little bit more stronger, a little bit more tighter, a little bit more hardened, say, than the average run-of-the-mill type of hand wraps that most fighters have in today in boxing. You will bow down on that demand. You bow down on the original agreement when you agreed to fight him in front of a crowd, but not 70,000, 80,000 packed in AT&T Stadium. It was going to be limited capacity. That's the contract that you agreed to. So I thought you signing that contract and agreeing to those terms, you assumed there were going to be a lot of fans in attendance, a limited amount of fans in attendance. So you based your acceptance on that purse under those terms. Now that there's 70,000 to 80,000 fans in attendance, I'm sure that Eddie Hearn's going to get some of that money. I'm sure DAZN's going to get some of that money. And I'm sure Canelo Alvarez is going to get some of that money. But you're not going to get any of that money. Now we get to the ring dispute. The standard ring is 16 by 16 to 20 feet ring. Now, if the contract states that it's a 20-foot ring is what's in the contract, then you have no leg to stand on, Billy Joe. But if it's not in the contract, stand on your square and say, look here, I agreed to every demand that you've put in front of me, Canelo Alvarez. Can't you just compromise with me on this one demand? That's being the ring size. I want 22 feet. You want 20. You actually wanted 18 originally. So you compromised and went to 20. I wanted 24. And I was willing to come down to 22. Excuse me. So that's where we stand here today. Eddie Hearn is on a plane flying in right now. He's got a fire to put out, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Joe's been complaining for a while now. He's not happy. His team is threatening to get on a plane and fly back to the UK. Canelo Alvarez told him point blank, either accept the 20-foot ring or book your flight. And as of now, they haven't got on that plane yet. So I guess they wait for Eddie Hearn to come down and talk with him about it, see if he can get something done. But Eddie Hearn's going to tell him, just like he told him as far as the judges situation, his hands are tied. The Texas Boxing Commission said it's got to be all-American judges that's going to judge this fight. All three judges have to be from the United States of America. I'm pretty much sure some, if not all, going to be from the state of Texas. So it's not going to be any from the UK. It's not going to be any from Mexico. So that's not to say that Canelo needs a judge from Mexico, because pretty much this is a home field advantage from Texas, which has one of the largest Latino populations in the country, and he's fought here before. And he has he might not be from United States, but he's basically a home fighter. He fought all his big fights in the United States of America, and he's got controversial decisions over Adriano Lara here in the United States, controversial decision over Austin Trout in San Antonio, Texas, aka Alamo City. He got a controversial decision in both Triple G fights, and both of those fights took place in the United States of America. Both of them, I think, took place in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. He fought Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather beat him probably 10 rounds to 2. If you just was real generous, maybe you could have gave Canelo 3 rounds, 9 rounds to 3. If you just was really generous toward Canelo, you could have gave him 3 rounds. But it's more 11 rounds to 2. I mean, 10 rounds to 2, 11 rounds to 1 type of situation, as far as how that fight played out between Mayweather and Canelo. And one judge had that fight a draw. So Billy Joe Saunders has he has a reason to feel like he's not gonna give a just due as far as the judges based on Canelo Alvarez's past several fights that were close that went to the judges. He got the decision, he got the nod in both of them. Not to mention the Miguel Cotto fight, a fight that I had a draw. He won that fight by unanimous decision, and that fight wasn't even close. The way the judges had it scored in that particular fight, they had him winning that fight by wide margins, and I had that fight a draw. So Canelo Alvarez has been getting preferential treatment by the judges, and Billy Joe's got to go in there and know that he's got to dominate Canelo Alvarez. He's got to dominate 8 rounds of those 12 rounds to have a chance to get a decision. He knows that going in. Now he wants 22 feet. Canelo not budging off for 20. So he's going to have to make a decision. He's going to stand on principle, stand firm in his demands, or this is just a lot of pre-fight talk to help build a fight up, help gain interest in the fight. But when it's all said and done, he's not going to turn his back on this type of opportunity. He's going to go in there and fight Canelo, and if he loses, he's going to use every excuse in the book to why he lost. From the judges, if it goes to 12 rounds, to the ring size, to the gloves, to the crowds, to the hand wrap. He's going to have 5 or 6 different excuses he's going to be able to go to at that post-fight press conference. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But if you really believe in what you believe in, if you're really strong in your principle, you don't want to bow down to Canelo no more, then stand on your square, Billy Joe Saunders, and book that flight. If the fight has not already been booked, and jump on that plane, man, go back to the UK. Now, if that's the case, I believe the backup plan is for John Ryder to fight Canelo Alvarez this Saturday night. John Ryder is a guy that's a very top-level super middleweight. In my opinion, he defeated Callum Smith in their fight. Callum Smith got the decision, I think by split decision, in a very competitive fight that took place over there in the UK. I thought he outboxed and outpointed Callum Smith. But Callum Smith had the name, had the brand, was a bigger star, and he got the decision. That's how these things work in the sport of boxing. And then that was always... that doesn't always happen like that, but in most cases it does happen like that. And they played out in the Canelo Alvarez. They played it out in the Callum Smith versus John Ryder fight. But he's a guy that's under Matchroom Boxing, a guy that Eddie Hearns promotes. I'm pretty much sure Eddie Hearns has talked to him on the phone, got him on speed dial, and already talked to him and told him, hey, I'm gonna put you on standby. Get ready to jump on this plane in the next 24 hours. I might need you to jump on this plane and take this fight. What kind of shape are you in? You in decent shape? Okay, then let's go down. Let's fly down here and make it happen. Because Canelo Alvarez is fighting somebody on May 8th. They got 70,000 to 80,000 people that paid their hard-earned money to see the pound-for-pound king and cash cow boxing get in that ring and throw his hands on May 8th. It's coming during Cinco de Mayo weekend. So a lot of people are planning a lot of parties around this fight. So he's going to fight somebody. So if it's not Billy Joe Saunders, he stands on his square and jumps on that plane and refuses to fight Canelo Alvarez after Canelo Alvarez refused to use a 22-foot ring, then I think John Ryder is the plan B for the matchup with Canelo Alvarez. He's a more than credible opponent. He's a southpaw. He's a guy that's got good boxing skills. He's a short guy, but he uses his lack of height to his advantage. He's able to get inside taller fighters and work to the body. He's got a real sneaky left hand, got a decent jab. He's a sound fundamentally sound fighter. He's kind of like a he's a real good fighter, real solid fighter. He don't have the power, and I think that's gonna be a downfall. He fight Canelo Alvarez. He don't have a power, but he could give Canelo Alvarez some problems, especially from the southpaw stance. But that'll be a fight that I believe Canelo Alvarez's team will approve, because he'll basically be going from one southpaw in Billy Joe Saunders to another southpaw in John Ryder. So it won't be no big disadvantage for us having to change the game plan. You already been sparring with southpaws and sparring, so you won't have to worry about a last minute change going from southpaw to orthodox. You won't have to worry about that in that regard. Those guys are kind of similar. I think John Ryder's a little bit more aggressive. Billy Joe Saunders fights off the back foot a little bit more, but both of the guys have sneaky left hands. But Billy Joe Saunders has the better jab, but John Ryder has the high work rate. So it's both guys bring different attributes to the ring, and it should be an interesting fight. It's just that Billy Joe Saunders is a WBO champion. Canelo Alvarez wants to become a unified champion, on his way to becoming undisputed. If he's able to get the victory Saturday night, and then in September against Caleb Plant, if he beats John Ryder, it won't be no belt that he can collect. So that'll be the negative aspect of fighting John Ryder instead of Billy Joe Saunders. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But you heard it here. If no Billy Joe Saunders fight, I expect John Ryder to be the plan B option to face Canelo Alvarez on May 8th. Let me know your thoughts about Billy Joe Saunders. Should he stand on this square and stand firm on his principle and refuse to fight Canelo Alvarez in a 20-foot ring and get on that plane and fly back to UK and miss out on this golden opportunity? But maybe he can sleep at night if he does that, knowing that he's a man of principle. He's a fighting man. He's there to win. He's not there to collect a check. He's not going to give in to every demand like other fighters have just to get that big payday to fight Canelo Alvarez. He wants a fair shot in his mind against Canelo Alvarez. And he feels that the odds are stacked against him. And he just wants a fair chance, and he feels that Canelo should bend on this particular man. Sugar Ray Leonard got a 24-foot ring, if I'm not mistaken, against Marvin Hagler. He gave Marvin Hagler everything as far as the money, every situation he gave advantage to Marvin Hagler. But only thing he asked for was a ring, a 24-foot ring. He was able to get that because he's Sugar Ray Leonard. Even though he acted toward Marvin Hagler like he was a B-side, he was bowing down to him. He had a ulterior motive. He said, I'm going to give you everything but one thing, and that's that ring size. I want to make you feel like the A-side that you are. We both A-sides, actually, but I'm actually the bigger name and the bigger star, but you've been the top dog in the middleweight division. I've been out of boxing for 2.5 years, and I'm going to give you everything you want. Gloves, money. You're going to be the last to walk in. I'm going to give you everything. Your name going to be on the front of the poster. It's going to be Hagler Leonard, not Leonard Hagler. I'm going to give you everything you want. I'm going to give you everything that an A-side deserves. But I just need one thing, and that's a larger ring. He's able to get that, and that ultimately paid off as he was able to pull off one of the biggest upsets in boxing, coming off a 2.5-year retirement to defeat one of the baddest men ever in the middleweight division. Marvelous, Marvin Hagler. But Billy Joe Saunders, in this situation, is not able to do that with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a shrewd operator. He doesn't want to give him them 2 feet where he can run around and move and make it harder for him to track him down and cut the ring off and work the body and take away his legs for the latter part of this fight. And that's why he doesn't want to budge on that 20-foot ring. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about this Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez ring dispute controversy. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I'll holler.